Last week, Gordon grilled the competition.
You know, right now things are going our way.
Now he leads the Tour to Pocono. Can he take the trifecta at the PA Triangle? Plus, the Long Pond flat track can be tough on a first-timer. You'll get a ringside seat as Kevin Harvick puts Pocono to the test. 2.5-mile racetracks mean one thing. That's a mighty big infield you got there. Our man Winston's trackside for the tough questions. Who's your daddy? It's the #1 pre-race show. Next on Fox Sports Net. NASCAR This Morning on Fox Sports Net is presented by Labor Ready, dependable temporary labor.
One of the most unique tracks on the Winston Cup circuit. You just never know what you might see at Pocono. Good morning, everyone, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm John Roberts, and welcome to NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. As you can see, we are missing one member of our team today. Our driver, Derek Cope, is out running his Busch car. We'll have him back next weekend, but that means that Billy Engel has to act as crew chief and driver. And Winston Cup scene, Steve Wade, is still looking for work on this race team. We may find something for him to do by the end of the show today.
I want to see that intro again. There's something I missed on that intro. Can we go back?
Back to that in a moment, but first, Pocono is flat and fast, but that's just where the uniqueness of this track begins, Billy.
John, there are a lot of unique things about that racetrack. You have 3 turns as opposed to 4. You have different types of banking. You have 14 degrees in 1, 8 and 2. 6 and 3, you have a tunnel to deal with. You have shifting to deal with. You have a front stretch. They'll run 4 and 5 wide on this, almost a mile long. There's a lot of aspects to this racetrack that makes a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some drivers that hate this racetrack and some drivers that love it. When you talk about racing at Pocono, you're talking about a different duck because, as Billy will tell you, you're shifting on this track. They're actually shifting on a track that isn't a road course. That makes it unique as well.
Yeah, we'll hear guys that'll be shifting twice, some of them 4 times. It really depends on the setup that they have in the engine combination that they use as to how many times they'll shift.
All right, speaking of unique, it is time now to check in with our Winston Kelly, who is trackside in Pocono with the latest news. Winston?
Well, I've been described a lot of ways, and I think that's one. Talking about unique, you're looking at the longest straightaway in NASCAR racing. Behind us, the front straightaway here at Pocono, over 3,700 feet. The news items, moving on to some of the key personnel changes. We talked last week about Scott Eggleston leaving Michael Waltrip's team, and that DEI Technical Director Steve Mills going to fill that role indefinitely. Didn't take long for Eggleston to resurface as he's taken over temporarily the crew chief duties for the Morgan McClure team as David Ift has moved on. On the driver's seat, a couple of new inhabitants there this weekend. Jim Smith's number 7 Ford being driven this weekend by Ted Musgrave. A very respectable job in qualifying, 15th. Robbie Gordon expected to get the nod at Sears Point. Mike Wallace, the regular driver, should be back in the seat at Daytona. Wally Dallenbeck, who's been on sabbatical since Galaxy Motorsports, didn't get a sponsor for 2001, is driving Andy Petrie's number 33 Chevrolet this weekend. And a tip of the hat to the owners here at Pocono, Drs. Rose and Joe Mattioli. They named the garage area here at Pocono in honor of the late Adam Petty. As for the race, not a whole lot of surprises in qualifying, except maybe Jeff Gordon outside of the top 10 for the first time in a long time here at Pocono. He goes off 14th. Be interesting to see how Kevin Harvick does today, starting 19th after his win last night in the Busch race.
All right, Winston, a lot going on at the track. Coming up on the show, we'll take an inside look at a Winston Cup test session, and we'll answer fan questions on the Haviland hotline. But Winston, back to you. And before you tell us what's coming up from the track, I got a question for you. Are they not allowing you to shave at the track these days?
Well, this is my Steve Wade starter kit. I just always wanted to grow up and be like him. It's become a tradition. Kyle Petty's charity ride's coming up, and we've just stopped shaving for that. Riding out to California this week for Kyle's charity ride the following week, but maybe I can grow up and be a little bit like Steve.
All right, Winston, I think you have to aspire to a much higher goal, but stand by. We'll be back with you shortly. Now, it's an extra special weekend for our old friend DW. Darrell Waltrip had a special little monument dedicated to him. He's going to have a bronze statue and a walkway named after him at Kentucky. He said that's a very special track for him. And, guys, he got a very special monument. You can actually purchase a brick, if you want to, around the DW monument.
Right now, the pigeons have a place to roost out there in Kentucky. Kentucky.
That's not.
Well, I think DW, he had a lot to do with the preparation and the building of this speedway, and I guess, you know, him, the hometown native, as far as, you know, bringing the racing to the state of Kentucky, I guess they felt a little special place in their heart to give DW something for even the pigeons.
Yeah, well.
All right, now he's got a walkway named after him. Now, the Busch Series made a little history last night as they ran their first race at Kentucky. And, guys, this one was all about Kevin Harvick. He simply ran away with this race.
Yes, he did, but in the beginning, Jeff Green was a strong car. You know, he took off and led that first lap and was up front for a good long time there. Then they had a bad pit stop. Had a lot of bad luck on a pit stop and got him back in the pack and racing there with Jimmy Johnson. And, you know, they both wanted the same hole, and it didn't work out for either one of them. And Jeff Green ended up losing some positions
As if
there.
Kevin Harvick isn't having a good enough year. Now I can say in his record books about him, he won the first Busch Series race in Kentucky.
Right. All right, let's take a look at the top 10 finish order from the Busch Series race last night in Kentucky, the Outback Steakhouse 300. It was Harvick, Biffle, Tony Raines, Elton Sawyer, and Ashton Lewis. No sponsor on that car, but he's still finished in the 5th spot. 6 through 10 goes Little, LaJoy, Kevin Grubb, Jay Sauter, and Jamie McMurray. Now, we had a little shuffling going on in the Busch Series points. Afterwards, of course, Kevin Harvick is on top, but now Jeff Green has dropped to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Jeff Green after that run last night. And I spoke to the guys over at PPC earlier this week, and they're, you know, Jeff Green's decision of where he's going to stay with them or go Winston Cup next year is really undecided at this point. So PPC is going ahead with their programs to either run 3 cars next year or just the 2. And they're going to run Billy Parker. They're going to test him at Chicago June 18th and 19th, and then enter him in the Milwaukee race on July the 1st, trying out some new talent.
All right, that's one team that doesn't want to stop the momentum from where they're going this year. Now, when we come back, we'll talk qualifying and see who will start where today at Pocono. Stick around, everyone. NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. We'll be right back, and I'm not too sure where those skid marks are going, but doesn't look good.
The wrong place, that's for sure.
Stay with us, everyone.
Very, very hard racetrack, but it's the most fun track we go because every corner is different.
The key there is just, you know, you got to handle good.
You downshift, you upshift. Some people shift as many as 6 or 7 times in a lap. Other people do it just 3 or 2.
Pocono's is kind of like a road course, actually. You mess up a little bit and it shows up a lot.
To me, it's about beating the racetrack, not beating your competition. And Pocono is a perfect example. If you beat that racetrack, you will beat the competition.
Got to handle good and run fast and shift gears.
Well, those are just some of the challenges of Pocono. Take a look at the track specs on this track. It's 2.5-mile triangular track, 14-degree banking with the long straightaways. That means this thing can get awful fast today. We'll go 500 miles, and that equals 200 laps. Well, welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. 3/4 of the races at this track have been won by drivers starting in the top 10. With that in mind, let's talk about qualifying, guys. And it's pretty easily put. Friday, Ricky Rudd simply ran away with qualifying almost 2 miles an hour better than his nearest competition.
Yeah, Ricky is very, very good at Pocono. It's his first pole there, but he always runs well there. You give Ricky Rudd a Yates car with the power and the cars that they give him, man, you can't ask for a better run than what he had. And if you look at the attitude of this car, it is right down on the ground doing everything it should do.
And you speak about attitude of the car. The attitude of the team is great. I think they're pumped up right now. I think they know that first victory is just right around the corner.
With a crew chief like Fatback, you just got to be good, right? With a name like that. All right, and not everybody had a perfect day at qualifying. Jimmy Spencer, this is his hometown track. He had a little bit of trouble in qualifying. Showed just how dangerous Pocono can be because you got 3 corners.
Right.
The corners are tight, and you got 3 straightaways that are fast.
Yeah, all the drivers will tell you that tunnel turn where Jimmy got loose there is one of the most treacherous turns on this track.
Let's take a look at how they will line up when the green flag waves this afternoon for the Pocono 500. There's Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin. The amazing thing about this, Ricky Rudd was almost 2 miles an hour faster than Sterling.
And look there, third, Ken Schrader. That's another team and another driver that's coming along nicely right now.
Interesting row number 3 with Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt Jr. A couple guys definitely looking for a good run. Johnny Benson up there as well.
Jeremy Mayfield there next. He always runs well there, 2 wins there.
All right, Brett Bodine with a fantastic qualifying run. One of the few owner drivers left in this thing. And rookie Casey Atwood qualified well. Ted Musgrave in the substitute role. He's up there inside of number 8.
Yeah, and it's unusual to see Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace that far back at Pocono because both of those guys get around there very well.
Same thing for Bobby Labonte. He also gets around Pocono very well.
Bet they won't stay back there too long. There's Ward Burton inside of row number 11. Bill Elliott's back there. And there's Jimmy Spencer after shaking. Still ended up starting on the inside of row number 14. Steve Park well back in the field as well. Now there's Kyle Petty outside of row number 16, safely in the field.
Yeah, all the Petty cars are in this race. That's great.
All right, Jerry Nadeau inside of row number 20 and his teammate Terry Labonte right by him. The last guys that made this one, Wally Dallenbach will start way in the back. Andy Houston and Kenny Wallace did not qualify for this one, and they ended up going home. Now, guys, we often say on this show, sometimes you can throw happy hour and practice speeds out because they aren't really indicative of how somebody's going to run. But Ricky Rudd was just fast in practice in the first one, and look what ended up happening to him.
Well, he ended up being fifth in happy hour speeds. I think Jeff Gordon, they took a brand new car there, and they've got that thing dialed in.
Yeah.
Mr. Gordon was number one in the last practice.
Bobby Labonte was up there, too.
Right, and happy hour was cut short because of the weather, so the guys had a lot of work to do in an abbreviated period of time.
Now, Billy, is it true that a track like Pocono, the difference between, the happy hour and qualifying, a lot more adjustment goes on there than other tracks?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there is. Because, I mean, the qualifying setup there, you'll see guys that won't even shift during their qualifying run. They'll go ahead and extend the engine, turn those few extra RPMs to keep that momentum up.
Right.
But during that race setup, you cannot over-rev that engine going down that front stretch. So there's a lot more, the driver has to be shifting, lining up for that corner to hit the marks because this is a mark-hitting racetrack.
So that's exactly why you see some guys do very well in qualifying and they're not there in happy hour, and the guys that didn't do so well in qualifying are there in happy hour that made the proper adjustments, just what Billy said.
And it's exactly what Jeff Gordon did because he ended up on top of that happy hour speed chart, so you got to watch out for him, even though he might not be starting exactly where he wants to start. So it should be an interesting race this afternoon, guys. When we come back, we'll go to the track and check in with our man, Winston Kelly. And we've said it before already today, this is a unique track, and here's one of the reasons as we look down from turn number 1 to that turn number 3, this front straightaway that's a lot like a runway. Stay with us, everyone.
Today on Fox, it's Winston Cup Racing live from Pocono. Tune in to see if Jeremy Mayfield can duplicate last year's victory at a racetrack known for its demanding turns and frustrating pace. Coverage begins today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Pacific on Fox.
Well, the weather should be good for racing in Pocono today as the stands may be empty right now, but they should be filling up with fans awfully soon. Well, welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. Because of the unique layout of this track, you never know what might happen in qualifying. Let's go now to the track to Winston Kelly, who is with the man who will start third today. Winston?
Well, it's incredible. In the last 26 races here, this gentleman has been in the top 10 in qualifying 10 of those. And Ken Schrader, a lot of people don't care much for this place. You seem to get around it pretty good. What is it about it you like?
It said top 21 of those, top 10, 21 of those, not 10 of those. Oops. 10 out of 26 isn't very good. 21 out of 26 is a lot better. You got to read the thing right.
Well, let's go back to why do you like this place?
It's not one of my favorites. We just seem to get around here good. We've had some good cars here and stuff, but I don't really know why, because it's not one of my favorite racetracks.
What will it take to be back in victory lane today?
Oh, you're going to have to run like qualified all day. You're going to have to make the adjustments, give the team the feedback to get the car really like you need it and be strong all day.
Well, even though I'm not very good on numerology, I think it says that he's been in the top 10 12 times, including a couple of seconds. He hopes to move it up one more notch. Is that right? Is that the right numbers?
I don't know. I can't read it from here, but okay. It's been a pretty good place for us. We've run second a couple times, and we would like to bump it up.
Well, Kenny, this is not about numbers. This is about your team's progress and your relationship with Newt Moore. How is that progressing?
Well, I hope someone's noticed that it has been progressing good. The finishes haven't always been there. We had a real good car at Charlotte. We were real good at Dover all weekend. We've had some real good runs, and for whatever reason, not been able to be there at the end. But it's progressing real good. And obviously moving in the same shop with Johnny Benson and James Ince and the Valvoline team has been a big help.
Kenny, following up a little bit on what you just said there, I know when we interviewed you earlier on in the year, you were talking about you guys were going to switch cars. You run the same type of car as Johnny did, so you guys could share information a little better than what you were in the very beginning of the season. Has that happened? Is that why we're seeing the good runs from the 36 team lately?
Well, we do have some of the same cars now. It's taken a little while to get some built up, but we've got a lot of Hendrick cars that have been in MB2's fleet for a long time, and Newt and I like those cars. We've had some good runs with those cars, and we feel pretty comfortable in those cars too. So it's not just an equipment deal. It's taking what we've got and getting it all turned the right way.
Kenny, how is it on this track that guys talk about sometimes they'll shift 3 times, sometimes guys will shift 8 times? How is it on this track that drivers can approach it in such a different way?
Well, it's just your transmission gearing and stuff. Usually here I've shifted 2 times a lap, and this weekend we're electing to shift 4 times a lap because we think it's the way as competitive as everything is getting. We need to do that to be more competitive also. So I'm not a fan of shifting on ovals, but we're going to be doing it 4 times a lap all day today.
All right, Kenny Schrader, thanks a lot for coming by. Enjoyable, as always, to talk to you, and we wish you the best of luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, Winston and Kenny Schrader there, thanks a lot for stopping by, guys. We'll be back with Winston in just a few minutes. When we come back to the show, we will go into the winner's circle where we'll hear from the winning crew that keeps putting great cars underneath Jeff Gordon.
We've got a lot of vehicles built. We've got a lot of very good vehicles built, and we're able to pick and choose amongst our favorite cars now, and that's what you need to be able to do. You need to have that arsenal of cars, an arsenal of people, and an arsenal of engines to go to these fights week in and week out and be prepared.
NASCAR This Morning on Fox Sports Net.
There's Ricky Rudd, and heading for victory lane is Dale Jarrett.
The last 2 Winston Cup races have been all Jeff Gordon, and get used to seeing this right here, guys, because he'll probably be back in victory lane a lot this year.
You think?
I think so. Welcome back to NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. Gordon could make it 3 wins in a row today. He was the last guy to do that when he won 4 in a row back in 1998. And right now, the whole number 24 team is hitting on all 8 cylinders.
It's good to have a group of guys around you that you've been with for some time now. You know, it helps you to cope with all the different things that come in of being part of Jeff Gordon's team. You know, it helps us to help, you know, Robbie. It helps us to help Brian. And Brian helps all of us because he's been through everything with it. You know, so the group of guys that we have and the length of time we've been together, 2 years now, you know, we're really starting to gel good.
When you start to work on a caliber team like this, to get to this level, you put so much pressure on yourself that really the outside pressure doesn't affect you any more than yourself. You know, like you want to be the best every day, everything you do. You know, everybody has a chance to, you know, carry the ball. You don't want to be the guy to drop it.
It's a team sport first and foremost. If you didn't have any one element to everything that goes on, from the guys back at the shop, in the chassis shop, to the motor shop, to all the individual teams, just the same, just as important as the 24 team.
It's really neat for the guys that haven't seen it and haven't been able to be a part of all those wins. And last year we knew we weren't dead. It was a little bit of rebuilding, but it definitely, as you go through that, it makes you a lot stronger because you have to figure out all your weak points and get all those areas straightened out. So while everyone else was running good, you know, we were working hard.
Rick's really put together great tools. He surrounds you with great people, and this team, you know, but I've said since day one, you know, Jeff Gordon's really been the leader of this thing. You know, he has meetings with us, and he's won 3 championships, so we're going to keep listening to him and take each practice, each qualifying effort, and each race one by one.
I can just tell the effort and attitude being put out by the team, the way the cars feel out there on the racetrack. They're just very comfortable. When we make adjustments, the car reacts, and I just see a different look in the guys' eyes.
I think it's mostly time, but not just that. It's everybody has just worked together now for a year, so everybody's doing the pit crew's been together for a year now. That makes a really big difference. And everybody behind Robbie, Jeff's behind us, and you know, everybody's confident with one another.
They want the best people in their organization, so you know, if you make it here and you get a job on this team and you're able to, you know, stay on the team and you don't, so to speak, you know, as in pro sports you get cut, well, the same thing goes on here. You know, if you're not one of the top players, you can get cut.
We've had very little turnover in the last 2 years, and that means a lot to me. I mean, I think we're doing a lot of the right things in the shop, and the guys are responding. We've got a lot of vehicles built. We've got a lot of very good vehicles built, and we're able to pick and choose amongst our favorite cars now, and that's what you need to be able to do. You need to have that arsenal of cars, an arsenal of people, and an arsenal of engines to go to these fights week in and week out and be prepared.
Right now things are going our way. If these guys keep putting race cars like that out on the racetrack, I'm going to keep driving the wheels off of it and just having the ball. You know, when you've got that kind of a piece of equipment and those kind of pit stops, all you can do is just drive it for what it's worth and keep going and see how long it lasts.
Well, just how dominant has the number 24 been lately? Well, check this out. Gordon has led 524 of the last 600 laps run on the Winston Cup Series. And the scary thing about that, guys, is it just seems like it's getting better. Now, Billy and I had a chance not too long ago to go over to the 24 shop, and although they said it is different since Ray Evernham left, the result is also the same. They're winning races again.
Oh, yeah, and it's, you know, what's amazing to me is they've been able to take the their whole pit crew left, went to another organization. They've been able to assemble a group of guys, put those together, and they've been able to give those 14-second pit stops. You know, that's what's helped them win a couple of these races that they've done because of track position. They've been able to get back out front, stay out front. As you can see, the arsenal of cars that they have, and they're all the same. They proved that at Charlotte during that Winston when they unloaded that race, or not the Winston. Yeah, it was the Winston, wasn't it? Yeah, they unloaded that thing and went out there and won the race. So that shows you the type of equipment they have. And the number one ingredient, in my opinion, is the confidence in the driver. Every one of those guys in that shop knows that they have a driver that can win or set on the pole any given weekend. So it's up to them to do their job to make sure that happens.
Let's think about the challenge they faced. There were a lot of people who said that Jeff Gordon would never be the same, nor would his team be the same after the loss of the pit crew and Ray Evernham. Now, to me, that's throwing down the gauntlet if I'm coming to work for this team. I want to be able to prove that our guys can take Jeff right back where he was, and we'll do it as quickly as possible. I think they've done a terrific job.
Yeah, a lot of that's got to go back to the driver right there, because if you think about it, a lot has changed in that organization. The driver has stayed the same.
That's right.
And the result is now the same as it was back in the late 90s. Jeff Gordon is simply starting to run away with this thing. We'll see how he does today at Pocono. When we come back, we'll talk to one driver who says his team is loaded for bear this weekend. Stay with us. We'll go back to Pocono in just a minute. And there's that 6-degree banking in the last turn. And there's a huge grandstand. It's going to be full of people today at Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Stay with us, everyone. Is glad to be back in Pocono. Both Jeremy Mayfield's first and most recent Winston Cup wins came at this racetrack spring of '98 and 2000. Well, welcome back, everyone. Mayfield and his number 12 team have won 2 of the last 6 races at Pocono, and it might have been 3 if it weren't for a cut tire last July. Our Winston Kelly is at the track at Pocono with the guy who promises his team is loaded for bear this weekend. Winston?
Well, John, I remember that all too well. He was on his way to victory lane a second time last year. The first win, very exciting as he nudged his way under the late great Dale Earnhardt. But Jeremy, what's your chances for another win today?
Man, hopefully pretty good, Winston. We had a good practice yesterday, and of course happy hour got cut a little short, but we feel real good about it, and I think we got a good setup. So find out what happens.
A lot of talk about the new tire all year long, and you definitely had hit the nail on the head last year with the old tire. How do you expect that it's going to affect today's race?
I'm not for sure. I don't think anybody's for sure. And I know yesterday the track really turned black pretty quick, and I've never seen the tunnel turn have a black groove to it, so it should be exciting today. Really don't know what's going to happen, so find out.
Well, if anybody can figure it out, it'll be Jeremy Mayfield. He's got those 2 wins here, almost 3, but he's going for number 3 today. Feels like this track may just owe him one.
Jeremy, I know that things haven't gone as well for you this year as you would have liked. So when you get to a place like Pocono, where you know you can win, does that increase the motivation for you and your team?
I think we're all motivated anyway, but to come here, our confidence is pretty high. We feel like we can get around this place pretty good and kind of know what it takes. And we'll just have to wait and see today. But anytime you come to Pocono, we're pretty excited about it.
Jeremy, I know as a racer, all racers want to win and they want to be competitive every week. Taking a look at your season and the past season, there's some tracks where you guys are really, really strong. What do you feel like as the driver of that team that you need as a group to make work better for you so you guys can be, a threat to win every week, week in, week out? Because I believe you're that caliber of a driver.
Well, thank you. And it's just it's pretty tough to put your finger on it. We've been searching and trying to find out what it takes to be consistent and what we got to do as a race team to get better. And just a lot of little areas that we need to work on. And maybe call that details, and we just need to detail our whole area and our whole race team, and myself included, So we're working hard on it right now, and hopefully we'll get this Penske Racing Mobile 114 turned around someday.
Jeremy, when does it start for you and your race team that you guys start thinking, okay, we're going to Pocono, and that is a place where we've run well in the past? Does it start the minute the last race ends and you guys start getting re-fired up to get that win?
Yeah, it sure does. When we leave here today, we're looking forward to coming back. This is like I call it, when you're a racer and you come up on the Saturday night short tracks and you got your home track you go to every week, you kind of just know what to expect and know every bump and every place on it. And this is what Pocono is for us. And win, lose, or draw today, we'll be excited to get back here next time. And especially the year we've been having, we feel like we can come here today and hopefully have a chance to turn our season around, or at least get a win and start heading back in the right direction here.
Jeremy, has the information from Rusty's crew and your crew, has that helped you guys be as strong as you've been at Pocono? Rusty winning there, you winning there? It seems like that's a Penske racetrack.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. You know, we go to California, we both run good. Michigan, we run good, and Pocono for sure. And you're starting to see a lot of tracks that both of us are starting to run good at. And I think we benefited from that. You know, both teams sharing information, and now that I got a lot of experience on the tracks, and we got a lot of experience as a team. You know, team members on the tracks. So I think it's definitely helped us.
All right, Jeremy, thanks a lot for coming by today, and we wish you the best of luck this afternoon.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Jeremy Mayfield. When we come back, we'll take an up-close and personal look at this unique track layout at Pocono. Stay with us, everyone.
Coming up today on the #1 pre-race show. Remember, you're wired.
The Goodwrench bunch takes their rookie to PA. Our MTM cameras roll as Harvick tries to pass the Pocono test. When NASCAR This Morning returns on Fox Sports Net.
Part of the scenery at Pocono. You don't see this at every track.
Is Mike shooting deer? What's going on? It's either that or the media.
All right, guys, that did not happen at the same time. That was Helton shooting years before the deer. No animals were harmed in this. It's just something the fellas back in the edit suite couldn't resist doing.
They haven't got enough to do.
They just couldn't resist doing that. But Helton did not shoot the deer. And that was two completely different things, and no animals were harmed in the shooting of this program. Now, it's part road course, part speedway. Either way you look at it, Pocono is unique. And Bill Engel, besides being a crew chief for years, you actually spent some time behind the wheel, so you can give us the driver's point of view on this track. Unique, to say the least, right?
It is very unique, and I have smacked a few walls.
Hard, right?
One of the most unique things about this course is the challenges that it brings the drivers as well as the crew chiefs. You go down this long 3,700-foot front straight. It seems like you're there forever and ever. You'll see the guys shift like he shifted there. He went into overdrive to keep from turning too many RPMs. As he gets down here to turn 1, he will shift back down into third, which is 1-to-1. This is a racetrack where you have to hit your marks if you're going to run well. That's why the road course guys do such a good job at this racetrack. He's going down now the long pond straight to set himself up for the tunnel turn. The tunnel turn to me is one of those turns where you need to apex that corner just right. Try to straighten that backstretch out. Although it's a triangle, you can lay that thing out to the wall, apex that corner good, and get yourself lined up for that short shoot leading into that flat turn 3. Turn 3 to me is one of the most critical parts of having a good lap, because if you're going to win here, you win from turn 3 to the flag stand. So if you can pick that throttle up and drive further off of that corner flat-footed, you're going to make better time to get down that front stretch.
Now, we heard a lot of drivers earlier in the week, Billy, talk about the ability to pass on this track. Now, when you take one corner out of a racetrack and you got such long straightaways, the ability to pass comes back into it.
Well, the ability to pass, where you'll see most of the passing done is that tunnel turn, because it is tricky for a lot of guys, and the ones who make good time will do it there. Also, coming off of 3, you'll see these guys, they'll get 4, 5, 6 wide. They'll just fan out all the way down that front stretch to get into that funnel. They'll actually just funnel down in to try to get down into 1. So it is a very interesting racetrack, fun to watch races there.
You know, you hear drivers always say you got to race the racetrack so much it sounds like a cliche, but when you're talking about Pocono, you're talking about a weird duck-billed platypus of a track. I mean, there's 3 corners, and you got all that different banking. You actually have to race that track to get through it and, you know, have any chance of winning the race. Also, though, that tunnel turn, mighty dangerous. Is that because of the apex you have to take, Billy? Because a lot of problems there.
I believe it is because of the way the track is shaped. It comes into the diamond. Now, that's where it takes its triangle shape. It's back there at that tunnel turn. And you have a bump there because the tunnel that comes underneath the track to let the fans and the competitors inside the racetrack, that's where that tunnel is. It comes under there. So there's a little bit of a bump there, and you're trying to turn as well as cross a bump at the same time.
You often have to wonder what these guys were thinking when they designed this track. It's so unique to have the 3 sides, but also the 3 different bankings in the curves.
Well,
a lot of spirits were consumed.
There you go. And it does the challenges for the drivers. They have to worry about shifting as well as race the racetrack and the competitors at the same time. Think about going off into that corner, number 1, running 200 miles an hour with 4 or 5 cars around you. You're downshifting. You're trying to get your apex to the corner correctly.
Right.
There's a lot of work that goes on there.
And on that front stretch, that's a spectacular view for the fans because they are really balling the jack coming down that front stretch, and they can be 3, 4, and 5 wide down there.
So this could easily be one of those races with some of the bigger names in racing starting in the back of the field. This could be one of those races this year where somebody strange sneaks up and wins this thing.
Yeah, I don't really think that you'll see a first-time winner as far as a rookie win it. I mean, you may see a first-time winner as far as one of the guys who have been on the circuit for a while, but I don't think you'll see a first-time winner get it here.
All right, we will see this afternoon how that comes out. Now, when we come back, we'll go inside a Winston Cup test session to see exactly what somebody goes through. And, well, we want to watch out for deer. There is deer crossing here, as we've seen. Stay with us, everybody. You're watching NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready.
Coming up today on Fox, it's Winston Cup Racing live from Pocono. Watch and see if Jeremy Mayfield can take home the checkered flag once again from this grueling track. Then at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports Net, join special guest Dale Jarrett for an all-access NASCAR Victory Lane. The Fox Network's your home for NASCAR.
I had a blast out there testing. I mean, I just wanted to stay out there and just drive it. You know, you get to shift gears, and it's flat, and I like flat tracks, and all the corners are different, so it was a lot of fun for me.
It's just a track that it's got 3 totally different corners, you know. I mean, turn 1's banked pretty, you know, it's got some good banking. Turn 2's got a little less banking. Turn 3's flat. You've got about every corner you can imagine that a racetrack has, so on one racetrack.
Turn 1 is difficult just because of the bumps that shake the car up going down in there, but the tunnel turn's exciting, and that flat corner on the end, it reminds me a little bit of Miami, and we've ran well there.
Well, rookies will get a quick lesson this weekend on how to drive this 3-sided track as the action will heat up in a couple of hours. Well, welcome back, everyone. This will be the first of several big tests for Kevin Harvick. He spent a lot of time flying in between Pocono and Kentucky this weekend as he drives on both the Busch and the Winston Cup Series. But he recently tested at Pocono, and here's what he and his crew found out.
You know, that's why we went there. We went there to get me used to the racetrack, and we know the race cars are going to be pretty close.
Downshifted before or after or where? I'll tell you one thing. Don't hit that speed bump back there. Stick the whole car up. Thank you. It's fine on entry. Just trying to figure out where the entries are supposed to be.
Right. He did really good. You know, we learned a lot. It's so goofy because a lot of times, if it pushes down there a little bit, it almost sometimes be loose down there, or it seems like it has been in the past.
It felt that time like it got loose coming off the corner. I said, nah, it's got to be from a pushing and snapping.
I mean, it could be, but it seems like that's what we've always fought time and time again. It's like, if you get it right down there in that corner, then it's usually too loose down there. But it's almost got to push a little bit right there to be really hot through there. And during the race, that's where you make all your time, right through there. With the speeds we were running before, where you shift, you just barely had to shift, but it was usually faster if you shifted and downshifted. So we elected just to back the gear up, not shift, and it all kind of balanced out. But if we get it worked out right, I think you're gonna have to shift, and it'll bring you off this corner a lot faster.
You know what I'm saying? Getting in the corner, it just doesn't have a whole lot of feel getting in. It's just kind of up there on the racetrack.
Okay, we'll see what these shocks do, and then we'll do some tire pressure things next. We went there to try to figure out this new spring package thing. You know, how soft can we go? How stiff do we need to be?
I think it's too soft in the right front almost.
Well, it might be now.
Because the reason I say that is because when it goes over the bump, it kind of just gets over there and just hunkers over there and then comes back up.
Okay. I was gonna go up with the right front. See what you thought about that. Just feel it.
Okay.
Might be wrong, but
Right front spring.
might need to go up with both rights. He's a natural. Everywhere we go, he picks up on it pretty quick.
The up Hamlin is over the bumps in 1 and 2. Gets in there, gets in good, let off, and about the time you want to go back to the gas and hit that last bump and pitches it up.
That's about what Dale Jr. was running, you know what I mean? I don't think he feels where he needs to be yet either, so.
That's something that I've learned is just to go out and make laps until you really get used to where the bumps and stuff are at the racetrack.
He just knows what to do. You know, we just take him there, unleash him, and then he'll come back in and tell us what he needs.
I mean, I think it's going to tighten up. I mean, you can make it tight if you want, but it's just, you got to be able to stay in the gas to make it tight. And right now we can't do that. I mean, that spring helps it, but it just, like it is right now, full fuel, it just wants to, the back's just not under it. Same thing coming off of turn 3 and getting into turn 2.
I don't think we need to try them 30 bleeds in the last Now I'm confused on whether we need to try the same build as we have right now, probably to back fill them.
Okay.
Now you don't have that, do you?
I can take that back, no big deal.
Now that time, with everything like it was, it didn't feel terrible through the second turn. It's still just bad over those bumps down there. It goes in and it's kind of, and then it gets to the big bump.
Dale Jr. was there, and he runs pretty good, so we kind of used him as our gauge. And you know, I think we're going to stack up pretty good when we get back.
Once I got pretty close and we fine-tuned the race car, I think we're pretty good. But definitely a unique racetrack.
All right, now any test session in Winston Cup racing is absolutely vital, but when you take a track as unique as Pocono and a guy that's a rookie like Kevin Harvick, boy, they become all the more important.
Well, John, that's a perfect example of communication between a driver and a crew chief. You have a driver who has never been there before. You have a crew chief who has been there plenty times, run well, won races there with other drivers. He has taken the information that the drivers he has worked for in the past have given him, and that's taught him about that racetrack. That's where a crew chief that has been in the business for a while can help a young rookie race car driver. And you notice there, they didn't have their data acquisition. They had it on the car, but they were taking their information, the engineer taking it to the side. The next day or when they get back home, he can find things in that data that can help them when they go back to race. But the most important thing for them to achieve that day was to get Kevin and acclimated to the racetrack. Right. So when he come back, he would know where to shift, how to apex those corners, because it is a very difficult racetrack to maneuver around, and undoubtedly done a pretty good job.
Now, you heard them say on there that Kevin Harvick is a natural as a driver. Well, that's very important. You know, it's been said that Kevin Harvick is doing well simply because he's in a good car and with a good team. Hey, that's part of it. But a good car and a good team don't really go anywhere without a good driver. And right now, Kevin is showing the natural ability that he has. That's the reason he's #1 in the rookie standings and doing so well in the Busch Series.
Now, we've seen guys that have had that have put great drivers and great crew chiefs together, and it hasn't worked that well. When you see guys communicating like that, that's a great example of this thing called communication that we always
we talk
about.
about it all the time, and that communication is so very important.
And you saw it right there.
Right.
All right, and there should be a lot of good things to come for Kevin Harvick based on that communication and what they learned at Pocono. Let's take a look at some of the rookie point standings. Kevin Harvick right now in rookie points, 171, and that puts him in the 9th spot in Winston Cup points now and gives him a pretty big lead over the rest of the rookies. And of course, Kevin gave us one of the most outstanding memories of this season so far with his win in Atlanta.
Now he's in a position to win the Busch Series title, the Winston Cup rookie title, and finish in the top 10, if not higher, in the Winston Cup points.
All of that and missing one race.
That's right.
Now the other rookies that are up there, Kurt Busch is close behind. Ron Hornaday having a good rookie season, as is Casey Atwood, Jason Leffler, and Andy Houston. Now when we come back, it's time to go back to the racetrack at Pocono, and we'll check in with our good friend Winston Kelly. NASCAR This Morning is presented by Labor Ready, and we'll be right back.
Net is brought to you by Taco Bell.
Welcome back, everyone. Unlike Mother's Day, the Winston Cup circuit races on Father's Day, but that's okay since so many of these drivers come from families where their fathers also raced for a living. And you don't get this kind of thing everywhere. Let's go to the track where Winston Kelly is standing by with 3 generations of Spencers. Winston?
Well, and they're from nearby Berwick, Pennsylvania, just about 30 miles from here, and start with Jimmy. Jimmy, it's pretty neat to celebrate Father's Day with the whole clan here back in your home state, isn't it?
It really is, Winston. You know, every time I come up to Pocono, last year was pretty special. We led the race, and I tell you, it means a lot to be Father's Day, Mother's Day also. I'm glad we have Mother's Day off because that's a very important day. But, you know, being here at Father's Day with my dad, and I'm very fortunate God still got us all together, and it's pretty neat. My son's going to start racing here, and I'm looking forward to that.
That was son Jimmy Jr. and going over to father Ed. Ed, you did a lot of racing yourself. What got you involved in racing?
It just, when I started, I just had another guy drive my car, and he kept smashing it, so I just started driving myself.
Well, I'm going to have to call him Jimmy Jr. now. Little Jimmy doesn't apply anymore, so you're going to get involved in racing soon?
Yeah, my dad so far is building me a Busch car here, and I've been racing Bandoleros a lot, and next year I'm going to try to get in a late model stock, but I'm going to be testing Busch cars, and next year when I turn 16, maybe I'll run a couple races. I don't know yet.
3 generations of Spencers from nearby Berwick, Pennsylvania. Jimmy hopes to run well again today, starting from the 27th position, guys.
Hey, Jimmy, now that your son is getting ready to race, obviously you want to support him as much as you can. What is your paramount goal here? Is it to develop him slowly?
Oh, without a question, develop him slowly, but most of all, he has to want to do it. He showed interest here in the last 6 months or so that he's wanting to do it. He didn't know for sure if he wanted to play football or whatever, so I'm sort of doing the same thing that my dad did to me. He never forced me into racing race car. I was the one that kept insisting, and Jimmy's going to have to do it. Now, finally, he's helping the guys in the shop on the car and things like that, and we'll test him in just by himself this year in a lot of races, and if he has the talent, he'll have the best cars money can buy, and we'll try to push him to the top.
Guys, this is a question for Ed. Ed, it's always special to get together with your family on Father's Day, but what is it like for you to be able to have something like a race to base your Father's Day around, where you have a couple generations of guys there with you? How special is a day like today?
Well,
Look at the camera and put the mic up there. There you go.
It's real proud for me to just be with them and then see that they're doing stuff that I really like to do.
All right, and it's always good you can get your son there to help you out with the microphone. Jimmy's getting good at this for a while. Bill, you wanted to ask him something.
No, I just wanted to, Jimmy, you used to come here as a spectator to this racetrack. How does it feel now to come here as a participator?
I tell you, Bo, that's true. You know, I remember sitting here in that grandstands and I watched the late Mark Donahue win the first IndyCar race. You got Neil Bonnet, Richard Petty, David Pearson come off this turn and all kind of moves. And now that I have the opportunity to race, it's real special. Be a sellout today. Hopefully the weather's good. But it means a lot to me, Billy, because I've always wanted to race at this racetrack and have success here. So hopefully we can have it today. We're not as good as we need to be at the Kmart car, but we're going back to make a lot of changes that we've learned at California and then places. Hopefully we can get it better.
All right, well, 3 generations of Spencers. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by with us today, and we wish you all a very happy Father's Day. And Jimmy, good luck on the track this afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for coming by, guys. When we come back, it's our weekly venture out on a limb as we try once again to predict the race winner today at Pocono. And one thing I can guarantee you, my money is not going to be on this guy coming up in a second. But first, check this out. Bill Elliott and Rusty Wallace lead all active drivers, each with 4 wins, Winston Cup wins at Pocono. And the gentleman I was talking about in that slow car, well, here he comes. It's that fella in the golf cart.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Bill taking us on his drive around.
Okay, Derek's not here today. I'll be the brunt.
That is one slow car out there. He's not going to win, but still, he's out for the race. NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready. We'll be right back.
I mean, we have to go out and try and do the best we can every week. We can't replace him, and the more we can do this year, the better the healing process will be. Our job today is basically make the car go as fast as we can for 1 lap. Nothing else matters. So you put the motor on edge, you put the car on edge, and the driver has to do as much as he can to make the car go as fast as he can. And that's really all today is all about is 1 lap. Not a whole lot that intimidates me. I like to drive the race car, and I know I think I can drive it, and I go out and do the best I can. And I got a lot of confidence in my guys, and they got a lot of confidence in me, and we'll just fight the battle together.
Well, that was just one part of last week's Victory Lane, which was All Access Kevin Harvick. Now, coming up tonight, it's All Access Dale Jarrett. Right here on Fox Sports Net at 9 p.m. local time, you can spend a week with the former Winston Cup champion. That's one you'll definitely want to catch. And the moment we've all been waiting for, it is time now for the Who to Watch segment. And Billy, who's going to watch? Who's going to be the one to watch today? Who's going to win this thing?
Well, John, for me, I'm not so sure that mine is a pick who's to win. I'm more like who's to watch. My guys, you can watch them run good, and then at the end of the day,
that's just an excuse.
Yeah, that's wishy-washy. That's wishy-washy, Bill.
Yeah, but going into Pocono here, I mean, you have to look at Ricky Rudd, the performance he's had over the past month. I mean, man, that guy is really, really strong. He has an opportunity to win there. So does DJ. But I'm going to go with Jeremy Mayfield. Jeremy Mayfield has 2 wins there. He has 3 top 5s, and he's on his way to his 3rd win when he cut a tire down on the last lap of that race. But Jeremy Mayfield should be a very, very strong contender here at this race today.
Well, Billy, I have to agree with you. I think Jeremy Mayfield will be a contender, and I also agree with those other guys you mentioned to watch. I think it's a good opportunity also for Sterling Marlin to break through, and Johnny Benson and several other guys. They may not have the experience, certainly Johnny Benson and some of those other guys, but the guy to watch is a guy that seems to have run well at every track I picked him, only he's just messed stuff. Well, if he doesn't do it this time in Pocono, I see Bobby Labonte emerging as the winner. He's won there twice. He swept the races in 1999, and he's got 2 top 5. So this is another good opportunity for him at a track that he does well at.
Now Derek's not here, guys. I say we pick one for him, but let's be fair.
All right.
Let's be nice. What do you think? Kenny Schrader. Let's give him Kenny Schrader.
Schrader would be good. He
Good shot.
Third.
Yeah.
And when you third, good run. Yeah, he runs well.
I don't think we should be that nice to him, but let's do it.
Yeah. We could have stuck it to him, but we're nice guys here. Even though he's leading the league right now, we'll go ahead and give him Kenny Schrader. So let it be known that Derek Cope is picking Kenny Schrader.
Yeah, he looks like he's had a few M&Ms throughout his life.
Yeah, boy, if he wins, we're going to have something to say about that official scoring next week, Derek.
You must be present to win.
Exactly. We'll change the rules as it goes along. But then again, we were getting on Billy earlier today for saying, I think this guy's good and this guy's good. Here's who to watch. You never see that kind of wishy-washy picking from this side of the desk because once again this week, after a lot of research gone into what goes on at Pocono, remember last year it was the Penske teams that swept this thing, right? Yeah, right. Okay, well, say what you like, but the Penske teams run well at Pocono, and Rusty Wallace will be the guy that will come through and win today. Now, the wishy-washy guy may say, okay, he had a bad run last week. I'll spare you, Wade. He may have had a bad run last week, but you can't keep a good team down for long. Rusty Wallace will win at Pocono today with perhaps a little bit of help. Speaking of help.
You need help, son, really. You need help.
Well, wait, when Rusty wins today, we'll see who needs help.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
We'll just have a thing or two.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out the FoxSports.com NASCAR this morning. Who to watch fan poll. And, folks, how about the number of guys who chimed in on this one? 148,373, and Steve Wade.
And no Rusty Wallace. Look
How
at
about
that.
everybody likes Earnhardt Jr., folks? What a sentimental favorite today. It is Father's Day, and boy, that'd be
we ought to start
amazing.
listening to these
Well,
people.
Earnhardt Jr., he was quick in last practice, happy hour, so he could come through today.
It is probably only just a matter of time before this guy actually wins a race. He's going to get back up there.
No question about it. And this could be the race.
Yeah, none of us were smart enough to pick
And John,
him.
I'm sure that Rusty will be in victory lane today, congratulating his teammate, Jeremy Mayfield.
Oh, listen to this.
Hey, at least he'll make it there, pal. All right? When we come back, we'll answer some fan questions on the Haviland Hotline. Stay with us, everyone.
It's another full weekend of racing across the Fox networks beginning Friday on Fox Sports Net with NASCAR Winston Cup qualifying live from the Sears Point Raceway. Then next Sunday on Fox Sports Net, start your race day with NASCAR This Morning, followed by the Dodge 350 live on Fox. Later on Fox Sports Net, wrap up your racing day with NASCAR Victory Lane. The Fox Networks, your home for NASCAR.
Brought to you by Haviland. Add more life to your car.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Time now for the part of the show we call the Haviland Hotline. Now, here's the way this thing works. It's a great chance for fans to get involved with our show. All you got to do is call the number on the bottom of your screen. Ask your question into the recorder. If we pick your question, we will answer it on the following week. And because this is the Haviland Hotline, we decided to go to the top dog in all of the Haviland race team, and that's team owner Robert Yates. Robert, thanks for coming by and joining us this morning. Are you ready to answer a couple questions?
Let's go. I'm ready. Happy to be here for the Haviland team.
All right. Let us start out with Carl from Vancouver, British Columbia.
I'd like to know, when the drivers pull into the pits, must they have all 4 tires in the pit perimeter?
Okay, good question. When you come in for a pit stop, you must have your 2 front tires and your left rear tire. Your right rear tire can be out simply because some of our pits are too short. When they're only 25 feet, it's hard to park these cars in pit. So they allow you to hang the right rear out, and that's you're completely in as far as the rule.
All right, good question right there. Let's go now to John from Reno, Nevada.
Does the temperature of the engine affect the fuel consumption?
Okay, the question, does the temperature, ambient temperature affect, or the engine water temperature affect the fuel consumption? We run carburetors that are, we have to decide, like early this morning, as to what jet we're going to run today. Now that the clouds are moving over in the sky and the air is going to get more dense, that will change what we do, just simply because it's a atmospherically fed fuel. So we really don't have any effect on that. If the air gets hot, it won't pull as much fuel. So on a hot day, we would actually use a little less fuel if we did not make a jet change for that. So I guess your question is, when the air temperature goes up, or even maybe the water temperature affects it some, you get a little bit better fuel mileage, but you don't get quite the performance. So it probably won't, you probably wouldn't know the difference.
All right, Robert, here's a question that's not so technical, just from us right here. Pretty good weekend for the Haviland team. Ricky Rudd just simply ran away with qualifying in this one. How confident are you guys heading into this race?
Well, we put certainly a lot of effort in this car, like every team does every week, but this is one of those that we put a lot of all-nighters into. We came here with, hoping we could settle on the pole. We've been so close. Now we got our pole. The next thing we haven't been able to put on our resume is a win, and we've got a real good car today, certainly. That 24 car, he's on top of his game, so that's certainly a car that we're concerned about, along with a lot of other cars, but maybe this might be the day for the 28 Haviland team.
Robert, along those lines, a lot of people suggested that perhaps Ricky Rudd would win very early in your car, which hasn't been the case, but tell us, are you comfortable with his progress?
Well, certainly Ricky Rudd, I haven't had any second guesses on was that a good decision or not from day one, even competing with, because it's not like, having that record of lucking into maybe or just winning one race a year. We've been very competitive in most every race, and that's certainly a lot better than, struggling through 25 or 30 races and then win one. I'm very happy with this. Certainly, we're tired of people asking, we're tired of questioning ourselves, can we win? We're good enough to win. We got to work on that luck a little bit, but most of that luck comes by hard work, and we put extremely hard work into this race. So here we go. If we don't win this one, it's not because we didn't work all night.
Robert, it seemed like the team and Ricky have been a little bit frustrated sometimes with the second place finishes, but when you're talking about a 43 car field, a second place finish is not too shabby. Has the crew and Ricky been able to keep their heads up through this thing? Even though they're not winning, they're still finishing second in a lot of races.
Well, certainly, when they went to the transporter after the Martinsville race, their heads were down a little bit and they kicked themselves a little bit like any good racer would. Each team has to be extremely greedy for their own team. I was sort of caught between the trucks. I'm not sure which way I kicked up or down, but somewhere in the middle of there. But they did everything I felt like right. They had to make a decision. They had a good shot at winning. You never know when somebody's going to cause a caution flag, and it just didn't fall our way. But not frustrated. I think frustrated is when you can't get close to a win or close to a second.
Happy Father's Day so far at the track?
Having a great, happy Father's Day. I just came from church and with my grandson, my son, and that'd be wonderful to take both those guys to Victory Lane today.
All right, Robert Yates, thanks for coming along today and helping us out with the Haviland Hotline, and we wish you the best of luck on the track today. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Robert Yates.
Very good.
All right, when we come back, we'll check in with the Fox Race broadcast team for more insight into today's race in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. You're watching NASCAR This Morning, presented by Labor Ready, and just one of the many sights around this raceway is the Jim Thorpe Memorial.
Mobile, you could possibly win NASCAR Heat 2002 for Sony PlayStation 2. Correctly answer this NASCAR trivia question about Pocono. Submit your answer on a 3x5 card along with your name, address, email address, and telephone number to this address. The winner will be drawn from all correct entries. Entries must be postmarked by Wednesday, June 13th and received by Wednesday, June 20th. Must be 18 or older to enter.
Look at the front grandstand at Pocono, and folks, just like Jimmy Spencer promised earlier in this show, there will not be an empty seat in the house today. Well, Jeff Gordon is on fire right now, and he will join our friends at Fox at 12:30 on your local Fox affiliate in the Hollywood Hotel. But let's go now to Steve Burns and Larry McReynolds for a look ahead into today's race coverage.
Thanks a lot, John. You know, John always picks Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, I believe they've got a little something going there. I believe maybe John has the inside on that Penske #2 car.
All right, well, let's talk about this. Ricky Rudd starts from the pole, Sterling Marlin outside of him, but Jeff Gordon has led 524 of the last 600 laps.
Didn't qualify quite as good as he'd like to. In fact, there was only 2 Chevrolets in the top 15, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon at 14th. Watching practice, though, getting ready to race, Jeff Gordon is no longer 14th 14th fastest. He's been very fast in practice getting ready to race.
Now, do you think Sterling Marlin can get that Dodge into victory lane for the first time this year?
Oh, there's no question. I think every week we roll into the racetrack, he's potential to be there, to win a race. He was great at Michigan last week. That late race caution, he may already have his first win had it not been for that late race caution. He continues to carry the banner for Dodge. Yes, any given week, Sterling Marlin, that Coors team, they can go to victory lane.
Sterling Marlin, the only driver to be in top 10 of points all year. Anybody laying in the weeds that we haven't looked at?
Well, we've not talked about him a lot at all, but Mark Martin, been good in both practices. And you know what? He always gets good fuel mileage. Fuel mileage can always play a role here at Pocono. Somehow, some way, seems to always play a factor in the outcome of the race.
All right, John Roberts, there you have it. Best of luck once again with your pick of Rusty Wallace.
You know something?
See, you can see what side those guys are on. Larry Mack and Steve know what's going on. They're on the right side of this thing.
I think they're right, though. You do have something going on with Rusty.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. All right, when we come back, some final thoughts on today's race. Stay with us.
This morning on Fox Sports Net, presented by Labor Ready. Dependable, temporary labor.
Well, there was a nasty tropical storm by the name of Allison floating around the Northeast earlier this week, but it looks like it's not affecting the fans at all up in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Let's go back now to the track and check in with Winston Kelly for some final thoughts on today's race. Winston?
Well, John, while there is a little bit of a threat of rain, the skies are clearing up, so we should be good to go for the 500 miles. We heard Steve and Larry talk about Jeff Gordon's record going for 3 in a row. Here at Pocono, an absolutely outstanding record. He's been in the top 8 12 of the last 14 times, but he's going to have lots of competition. We talked about Jeremy Mayfield earlier. Dale Jarrett, 9 consecutive top 5 finishes. And at the risk, though, of sounding like somebody back in the studio who is a broken record, I'm going to go with Ricky Rudd again. Now, thinking about Ricky Rudd, he kind of reminds me lately of Harry Gant back in the late 70s, early 80s, how he had all those second-place finishes and top 5s until he won. I believe when he does win, they're going to come in bunches, and they got a strong motor. So should be a great afternoon of racing here at Pocono, and we look forward to talking to you next week from sunny California.
All right, Winston, let me tell you one thing. There's nothing wrong with sticking with one guy on the track.
Yes,
I'm telling you, it's going to work. Winston, so long. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Steve?
I tell you what, I tell you what now, I think he's right on the money. I think there's a lot of different guys that can win this race today, no question about it, and Ricky Rudd is one of them. And one of the unique features about this track that we've talked about repeatedly is actually shifting gears. But guess what, folks? There is no clutch involved here. Take it away, Billy.
Well, they don't use the clutch because the transmissions, they have straight cut gears in them. It's just a matter of you touch that shifter, it'll go to the gear. So the potential for transmission problems exists there. Also valve train problems. You'll probably see some cars lose valve trains today. And I'd just like to say a special get well to Papa Joe Hendrick, recovering from heart surgery, and to Sean Parker's wife. Hope they get well soon.
All right, now Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, is going into this race. He's had the world on his shoulders for this entire season. Now he goes into a race on Father's Day. That has to be very emotional for him.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it'd have to be. I mean, think of the story. If Dale Earnhardt Jr. was to win this race today on Father's Day and in memory of his father, I don't think there'd be a dry eye in the place, and I certainly think it would be more than fitting for racing to have something like that happen. But sometimes we can wish for the happy ending we'd like to see, and other times it's just not going to happen. We'll have to wait and see.
There's too much that goes into a race, and also on such a unique racetrack like Pocono. Billy, do we see a lot of cautions, a lot of passing? What do you see today?
Well, you won't really see a lot of cautions, I don't believe, because that's why fuel mileage always plays such a big part in this race. I think what you're going to see is pit strategy. That's what's going to be the outcome of it.
Speaking of broken
records. It has been so many times. Exactly. Pit strategy has played a biggest part in a lot of these races that we've run this season.
I agree with Bill on the absence of cautions, because I do believe that for the greatest portion of the race, these guys race the track as opposed to each other. But they'll get to scrapping when the time comes.
All right, guys, let's hope that rain stays away. Saw that 60% chance right there, but 60% means 40% that we can get this thing in. We'd like to once again thank our friends at Labor Ready for presenting NASCAR this morning, and we remind you to join us tonight for All Access Dale Jarrett on NASCAR Victory Lane. That's at 9 o'clock local time. Now, the Fox race coverage starts at 12:30 on your local Fox affiliate this afternoon. For Billy and Steve, I'm John Roberts saying thanks for coming along for the ride, everyone, and enjoy today's race at that very unique racetrack, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It's Pocono, and it's coming your way in just a little while. So long.